righty, so let's get everybody put in order here. And do that's how you feel? We're live. Woo woo. Hello, we've got. Well, we did have four people, and now it showed two. So I think two of them was probably us on there also. So hello, everybody. We have, of course, got our co-host Drew, and we have our guest Sherry. So Drew, I'm gonna let you start. Well, we'll give it a few minutes and let people come in.
Yeah,
And
William's watching upstairs as well. So hi, Willie.
oh,
Hello,
William.
William.
okay, great. And
Willie.
Iron is in the
He
house
always
too.
watches.
Hey,
So
Iron.
Yeah,
so Drew, you want to just kind of tell a little bit about first about what
yeah. We'll
we're
just
going to
kind
be
of
chit
blather
chatting
about it
about and
first. Yeah, it's really a lot of yous that already watch Mystical. I'll probably have already noticed the Sensabaugh Tunnel that she's went to. I think it's 3 times now. But there's also a lot, and we won't get right into it until a lot of people come into the room. But I've noticed through watching there and other ghost hunters and crime people talking about this tunnel. So it's really like the aspect of the paranormal world and the crime world has got a connection to this tunnel through different things, and tragedies and things have happened in it. But I didn't know all this until that Mystical
hey
was the
Chrissy.
same tunnel, until Mystical was talking about it. I think it was the second time she went there that I realised that it was the same tunnel as a lot of people in the true crime world talk about murders and things that's happened there, about different kids and things that's went missing and are supposed to be connected to the tunnel. Different, the tunnel was a meeting point for these people. Put it that way. That was a meeting point for certain things to happen with these kids. So I think the impact on the different things that has happened in the tunnel, around the tunnel, probably even on the land before the tunnel was even made for the trains. I think it's had a big impact on that land. And the place, I don't know exactly where in Tennessee or that it is, but through knowing about that area, I know that a lot of the ground
Mhm,
there is undiscovered, a lot of the
mhm.
history, and I feel that that place is one of those places that it's probably got hidden artifacts under the ground, maybe even burial sites under the ground. Who knows? Welcome in, Eli and Krista.
Hello.
It's just
Hey
one
Eli.
of those places. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, guys. So for anybody that's never watched them before, definitely head over and watch, and even do a bit of research if you want on the tunnel yourself. It's Sensabaugh Tunnel. So you do a bit of research on it and see what you can find on it. But it's just one of those places I think is captured in history, and it'll take a lot to either clear the land or even cleared some of the spirits away from it. So, what do you feel? What do you feel when you're actually there, Mystical?
Well, each time that we go, it's like a whole different atmosphere. It's like we catch different things every time that we're there. But during the time that we have gone there and talking to different people, they see that's in that area because it's kind of like in the it's about I want to say about 40 minutes away from Rogersville, Tennessee, which Rogersville and where we're at here in Sneedville is like almost 40 minutes an hour drive away. So,
Right.
but it's always different when you go. The more people you talk to, they start telling you more and more things of that surrounding area that we weren't like aware of. The
Mhm.
last one that we had talked to when our vehicle broke down on the road and we had to get a guy come tow our van, he was telling us because we were talking about like paranormal stuff. He was telling us that there was a bus crash, a school bus crashed in there. And so I was thinking at that time, maybe that's why we're getting, because we had so many names every time
Mm-hmm.
we're there.
Yep. Yep. So
And
many.
then it starts making sense, and like people, like one of the ladies stopped when we were doing an investigation and asked us if, you know, asked us about it and if it was the place where someone had hung themselves or something, which we didn't even know anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
But see,
Mm-hmm.
there's actually two of them that they call the Sensabaugh Tunnel, and they're close to each other. But the other one they completely closed off. I mean, there's
Right.
nowhere to park, so it's not like you could park on the side and walk over there. They have big old logs and everything across you. There's
So you're
nowhere
not getting near it
at all.
whatsoever.
No,
Right.
no, they don't want anybody, there whatsoever. But it's like on what we feel, it's just different every time.
Yeah.
Lee knows a lot about it because he, as a kid, with his friends, because this has gone way back, way, way
Yeah.
back, and Lee said when we the first time we went there, he said if y'all be quiet, you can hear a lady crying and you can hear a baby, and right off the bat, with the windows
Yeah.
down on the van, he could hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
right away. We hadn't even gotten our gear together, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But him and his friends, they had heard, so they wanted to try it, that if you drive halfway through the tunnel and you turn your vehicle off, that it won't start again. Like you'll see, like a train coming toward you, and there's a
Yeah.
train track on top, and it goes
Yeah.
over on
See, that
top.
feeds the energy then. They've got that
Yeah,
constant energy there with the electric
yeah.
tracks.
So he said, if you, when you're in the middle of the tunnel and you turn your vehicle off, you can't get it back on, and then you'll see a train coming toward you.
Mm-hmm.
So him and his friends, they decided to try it, and that's exactly what happened. They turned the car off. They could not get it on, and he said it was like a train was coming out. They had to push the vehicle out of the tunnel because it wouldn't start. Now, once they got it out of the tunnel, it started, you know. But yeah,
It's
so it's like
just,
so many different energies
yeah,
and things there.
so many voices as well in different age groups. And then the
Mhm.
SLS camera, it's got different sizes of spirits.
Hey,
Some
Sari.
spirits are really small, and then
Or
you've got other
Perry.
ones that
Perry.
stretch. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's like, okay, so the thing was, is what they were saying. I'm trying to get this off. Is that there was the owners of that property that supposedly he had taken someone in, and during the time he had taken them in, he had like, I kind of get them mixed up a little bit, but it kind of goes that he like took the baby, or the wife or both of them, and that's why you hear the baby crying. That's why you hear, a lady crying, and supposedly they were killed in there. That he got caught stealing or something in the house, and so he kidnapped the baby. But yeah, when it came across, I think it was on the first one, if I'm not mistaken, where it said jogging, and we said, well, we're not jogging out of here. After the fact, somebody
Mm-hmm.
said maybe somebody was jogging and they got kidnapped and got killed close to
For a
there.
heart attack or something,
And I
yeah.
was like, yeah, because sometimes you try to figure out what the spirits are trying to tell you on the
Yeah.
devices, and it made more sense of what she was, what she was asking.
I
But
understand
it's,
the brown debate, but see, there's so much history. I mean, think about it. Even it goes back to the old, what I was saying in a couple of my streams that
yeah.
I've done in the past. That even with these bridges that has the every town has like a haunted bridge in it and things.
Mm-hmm.
Has this been maybe one of those bridges as well, where way back in the day when people couldn't afford to keep their kids, they would think that okay, they're going to a better place, and they would
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately harm their children. Has this been another one of those places that's had that atmosphere as well? Because it's so crazy a place. I mean, you guys pick up on spirit. You can usually hear them and see them pretty clearly,
Mm-hmm.
especially the two of you, Sherry and you. Have you ever seen anything there when you've been watching it that's made you think, wow?
Well, when I'm there, and I'll ask Sherry if she's picked up on anything because I know she was watching them. But even like when we're there, sometimes we're like we can see it's so dark, and it's like
Mm.
you can see a shadow, but the shadow is so dark. It's like a void amongst the darkness, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And and the spirits has come across and said, "Do you see me?" Like verifying the fact that
Yeah,
yes,
you're
we actually had seen them. Sherry, you've watched some of them. Have you seen anything when you're, when you like replayed them and watched them back?
For some reason, like obviously, yeah, I'm drawn to the tunnel and that, but for some reason, I'm drawn to the water area. That's where you normally park the
right.
park the
Right.
van.
Mhm.
I don't know why, but like just in that area, I've seen a couple of children. I've seen a little boy that hangs around near Lee.
Wow.
He actually hangs around near Lee. He seems to like Lee quite a lot, but Lee, I have noticed that Lee's getting a lot better with them interacting with him now. But
Yeah.
I know that he's still got a little way to go yet, which I can
Mhm.
understand because it is quite scary if you don't get it. But I've seen that little boy when you go into the tunnel. I've seen, like when you said about that figure that you caught on the SLS camera that was kicking you. Well, I've seen a
Mm.
Mhm.
very tall apparition that stands to the corner of the tunnel, and he'll stand at the front of it, like in the light, so you can see him. But like you're saying, he's like a dark shadow, and then he walks. But it's really weird how he walks because he doesn't walk on the ground. It's like he climbs
Like the
he
sides and
climbs the
inside.
tunnel.
Right.
It's like he's going
Mhm.
around it and that. And
Mhm.
obviously, yeah, I definitely have heard the baby cry on the video. I definitely
Mm.
heard that, and I get the kind of same sort of vibes as what Mystical does. The baby was obviously the baby was murdered. The woman was
Yeah.
murdered. I meant sister.
Mhm.
I meant sister Drew. Sorry. I kind of get
It's
the
okay.
same vibe, but that maybe it was
Yeah.
back in a day where things were difficult and looking after kids were difficult, and if something wasn't quite going the way that somebody liked, then they would kill the child. But I do
Yeah.
feel that this woman that had the child may have worked for this guy, and this guy
Right.
caught her, and he's some high-do guy, didn't
Yeah.
like what he done, and
Mhm.
he chose to take justice into his own hands when he
Mhm.
shouldn't have, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
See, because
I do get some dark energy. I do
go
get
ahead.
some dark energy from that place as well. Even though I feel a lot of really
Mhm.
positive energy that just wants to reach out. I think a lot of them want help. I
Yeah.
think a lot of them do, and it's weird you saying, because when I get there, I do get that feeling of seeing feeling lots of energy of children. So it does make sense what you're saying about the
Yeah.
school crash
Mm-hmm.
on the
Right.
bus as well,
Yeah.
Right.
because I just feel a lot of energy where they're trying to reach out. It's like they're trying to reach out to their loved ones, or they're trying to reach out to someone to hear them.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
Mhm.
trapped.
Mhm.
See,
It's like
that
they've
made a
got
lot of
no
sense to me about
community.
the kids because the kid
Yeah,
that we feel that went missing, and we won't say her name, guys, because it is a big case in America. But
yeah,
the
Yes.
kid that we feel did go back to that tunnel, I feel she's in there because of the other kids. I feel that she maybe isn't there all the time, but I do feel as if she's drawn to that area because she
oh yeah.
visited it as a kid, and she's also obviously there now in spirit because of the
And
kids' spirits. So,
there is a lot of them that are there. They're stuck there, but there are some that come and go.
yeah,
Um, I do think they're like guardians. They're protecting
yeah,
them because they don't know what else they can do with them, because they can't remove them themselves.
yeah,
These kids and that need help,
Mhm.
but I don't think it's just that though. There is something negative in that tunnel, and I think
mm,
whatever that is that's in that tunnel is stopping them from being able to go over as well. And I
yeah,
do think that this might be something to do with that really big energy that Sister first caught on the SLS camera. I think this is the entity that you need to watch,
yeah,
and I don't know why, but when I sat there the other day and I was what today. when I was watching it, and I was watching the one with the guy kicking you, because I watched all of the videos to just
Mm.
recap it, because I've watched all of them because I do like that stuff. But I recapped it,
Yeah.
and I just kept getting this name Josapha or something, like really weird. Like I can't
The
pronounce it
old
properly, but
name.
it don't sound
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
One of the
Um,
olden names.
but
And
It's
it is
just such
living.
a crazy
He is
place. There's
living.
so much.
Like this energy isn't like a demonic or anything like that. This is somebody that did live, but in his past life, he's become part of the darker side because of the things he's
Right.
done in life. I don't know why, but when I when I
Yeah.
looked around him, I don't like saying the word, but men that like to fiddle with children.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. I see.
I
I got
did get
that
that.
as
I got
well.
that
That's
there was
what
a
I'm
lot of
like.
trafficking. There was a lot of trafficking or something that used to go on with
Right.
kids there as well.
Yeah.
And I do feel he's that. And obviously in the dark side, he's gone over, and he's gone into the darker side. So now he's turned into something that's a lot worse, which is
Right.
why he can go bigger. And
Mhm.
he's not.
Because some of
He's
those
human,
crime
but he's
channels
not
that talk
human.
about it,
You know what I
they
mean?
actually say that it was a meeting place for people to kind of swap their kids, if you like, lend their kids out. Let's say
Yeah, but
that.
I don't
So
think it's just that though. I think that some of the parents actually, like, if they had very young girls or that were very attractive, I think that they may have sold the girls out for money, like doing sexual favors
yeah,
for like
yeah,
dirty
that's what
old
they
men.
did
And
do. That was the meeting place.
yeah, I
Yeah,
just get
that was
that
the
vibe
meeting
from it.
place for a lot of them.
It
Yeah,
makes me
and
feel
Yeah,
sick
it's just so.
when I watch that
Yeah,
video. It does make me feel sick. Like I'll watch it because it's Sister Mystical doing it, and it is a really interesting place, and you do get a lot of evidence on it. But when I
yeah,
watch that, it physically makes me feel sick. I feel a weight on my head and my shoulders, like it's there. It's just like, oh my god,
crazy.
well,
like
you
yeah,
know,
See,
and
I
Sherry,
picked it up.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say,
No, it's
and
okay.
with
Nico
Sherry
says.
mentioning the water there on the
Mm,
outside too. See, not too long ago, and when we did the video, I think it was this was the second or third. I can't remember, but on one of where I had put on there where I put she killed me. Well,
mm,
before that there was a person from like the Rogersville area that
yeah,
was murdered there, and the way that the news was written up that we saw that his body was dumped close to the Sensabaugh Tunnel. Now,
right.
I don't know. We've parked on one side during one investigation. We parked on the other side, the third investigation. So I don't know where he was found at.
Yeah,
But when that came across, we were wondering, and the fact that it said she, well, I know I had read that they had caught a couple of guys that was involved. I think he needed a ride or something, and they like robbed him or something like that and killed him. And then recently it came out that there was a female involved, and I don't want to say no names because I don't really
right.
know the whole thing, but when
Mm,
it said that there was a female involved, it made me think of when the device came over and said she killed
well,
me. Then I was like, well, maybe that she played a bigger part in there than what was originally known.
yeah. Well, I
yeah,
definitely felt round. I
But
did definitely feel round the water area, but like when I see that boy there with like next to Lee and stuff like that. Just sometimes when I'm watching it and stuff, I get like a quick flash, and it's like something hitting the water. So I don't know
yeah,
if like in the past something's gone in that water, like maybe they've jumped in it. Maybe some kids have
yeah,
jumped in it playing, thinking
yeah,
it's safe, and they've drowned it, or a car's gone in and it's not. It's got stuck. I don't know,
yeah.
but I see
I
something
always
that
just get
hit
the
the
feeling of
water.
a lot of eyes, like as if there's a lot of
mhm,
eyes. I mean, I just
Yeah,
know I can't see spirit, but I
you do
always
feel
get the
like you're
feeling,
being watched
yeah,
constantly.
there's a
It
lot
is
of
that
eyes
sort of
watching
place.
you. Yeah,
Like if
yeah,
you walked it, even if you wasn't spiritual or open, if you walked into that place, you would feel the eyes on you. Like
yeah,
You can see
Yeah.
it and feel it in the video when you're watching it. You can tell that there's things
The
standing there watching
history
you.
of it, though, I mean, that area alone is definitely goes back in the history books. I mean, one of the cases that was one of the famous cases of that area, the wee girl gone missing, I remember them going back about the full of that area. And it goes right away back and away back. So who knows if there was even battles on that part of the land, if there's
I
maybe
could
even
imagine so. I'm sure there was battles because
Mm-hmm.
yep.
you do hear like in some of the video bits you do hear him about saying something about fighting and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So I do think that, like, what you got to think is that tunnel, maybe like a couple of 100 years, 300, 400, 500 years ago, wouldn't have been there. It would have been maybe fields, or it could have been somewhere where people stayed. It could have been a
Yeah.
camp. It could have been a prisoner of war camp. We don't know, because we don't know
Yeah.
everything about it. There's so many things that places can be. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. This residual energy won't just be from
And
now,
the
from a
elementals
couple of
as
years
well. There's
ago. It's going to
definitely
be from
elemental
hundreds and
spirits.
hundreds of years ago. So you've got
I
mixed
mean,
energy there.
do you think that maybe the elemental spirits are maybe trying to look after the kids then? Because
Some
the
of them,
woods,
I
because
do
I
think
get,
some of them do. I think some of
yeah,
them are aware of what's happened to the children, and they're aware of the negative energy that's there as well. So they're trying to protect them. I do think that is going on. But this energy, for some reason, like, he seems to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And it seems to be that each time they go, something else happens. There
yeah,
seems to always be something now happening, isn't there? It's not like where before you'd get a few of the EVPs and you'd see a few things. Now it's constant. You're getting constant things, you know what I mean? Like, and you're seeing it. Like, they are building up.
oh yeah.
And
Hi Diane, welcome on.
I do
It's just
believe in
one
what
of
you're
those
saying as well,
places.
Kirsty, sweetheart.
I
You know, who you
definitely
are in
think
life
it's
is
one
who
of those
you are when you
places
die.
that you'll need to go back to
Definitely.
over and over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Diane, we just actually
yeah,
just
for
came
sure.
in like 22
You know,
minutes
Diane.
ago, so it's still all
Yeah,
it's
we're
still all
not long.
good.
We're not long. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
no,
talking about the Sensabaugh Tunnel that Mystical's
You know,
been
like
at
I
one
think
time.
like when you go back there, because obviously like you speak to them and you say hello and you ask how they are and things like that. Maybe like asking them what they did when they lived and how they're
Yeah,
connected to this place. Like, don't force them. Obviously, I know you wouldn't, sis, anyway. But just say, like, do you mind talking to me and telling me what happened in this place? Are you
yeah.
connected to this place? Is this where you died? Things like that. We're just trying
Been
to
asking
help
if some
you.
of them are
We're
from the
trying to
bus
understand
accident.
and hear your story. We're trying to help you. But for us to be able to help you, we need to be able to hear what happened to you so you can let go. You know what I
Yeah,
that's
mean? Like, make it
yeah.
so that they have that choice, because I think you're getting to that level now, sis, where you can do that. You can ask them because they're getting used to you now. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because more and
and you
more
know what it's
it
yeah.
starts to come through.
And they're
And
yeah,
clearly trying to make communication with you. Some of them are trying to connect with you. They are trying to talk to you. But every now and again, that other energy seems to jump in. But they seem to be getting stronger as
mhm.
well. The more that you're going, you're building their energy up so they're able to talk to you more. So it might be
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time to help them now, isn't it?
yes, because even though like on the first and second one, they were showing up more as far as like on the SLS. The last one they were showing less on the SLS, but there were more disembodied voices coming through.
voices.
And
Yeah,
since
that's
I'm
what I
hard of
mean.
yeah, and since I'm hard of hearing, I can hear something, but I can't make it out what it is. And Phoenix is so good about picking up what
Like,
it says. She has her other special headphones
Headphones.
that she can hear everything
yeah,
on
and
it,
I
and
put
then
my
she'll
earphones in
tag
and
it.
I do that as well. I will listen because I
Yeah,
do, like Sister Drew's seen me do it. I do pick up on spirit
yeah,
voices in videos and things like that. I do, but I
Mhm.
haven't been doing it recently because I've been so busy. But
Right.
I did
Yeah.
listen to this one, and I've listened to a couple of Sister Drew's bits as well. But today I'd done Sister Mystical, and like there was definitely voices, and like you were saying, the first
Yeah.
and the second video, yeah, they did talk to you, but they talked very little to you. It was more showing, like you're saying. In the last video, yes, they still showed up, they still done things, but they spoke so much more because
yeah.
you are giving them that energy when you go there and when you do the prayer and everything else. And like, because you're going back there, you're not showing fear. When you're not
Hmm.
showing fear, you do weaken those negative energies. Those negative energies no longer have got that hold over you.
And
So
the
Hmm.
prayer definitely
the
brings
spirits feel that they
them
can
in.
come to you because you
For
can't be
sure,
touched.
those prayers bring them in.
So
Yeah,
speak to them.
yeah.
Speak to them. Just say, look, I'm not forcing you to tell me, but do you want to tell me how you're connected to this place? Do you want to tell me how maybe you died if you want to? You know, give them the
Because there's
options to
so many
say, for
levels.
us to be able to help you,
Yeah.
you need to be able to talk to us. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're
Right.
trying to do. We're trying to help you. We're not trying to. We know you're not trying to get famous. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
they,
We just
if
want
they've
people
had
that
up,
I'm
if
just
they've
so
had up,
curious. I'm just
they've
so
had other
curious.
investigators there. I take it. They've had
What?
other investigators there. I take it.
Oh yeah, I
What?
think a lot of
Yeah,
people
because
have left there.
Oh.
I get that feeling that they're a bit like, oh my god, it's them again. Because I think they've had people that have not been quite so professional
Dedicated to
in doing
going,
the
yeah. Because I think a
investigating
lot
and
of
stuff
people
like
just
that.
go for the
And
experience,
I think at first
yeah,
they were
and
trying to
don't go
work
back.
mystical out, but now they're knowing mystical's the real deal, and that mystical is
Yeah,
actually the one that will help them. So I think it is time to
yeah,
do that now because
Yeah.
there's a
Because.
couple of energies I watch. They watch you constantly, mystical sis. They do. Like I was watching one video. The boy that's with Lee, that stands near Lee, he's constantly got his eye on you, and he's like he puts his
so
hand up
that's a
to you, like
shame.
he's trying to get your attention. And I just get that vibe.
Yeah,
He wants help. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
yeah. There
Well.
must be so
On.
many of them, and they must be scared to
there's
half of
loads.
the
Hmm.
spirits that
There's
surround
loads.
them.
Yeah. And
There
see,
is loads.
when I go there, I don't go in like being scared because, well, first of all, because of my prayers and my beliefs and how I can see and stuff like that. But two, I feel like I have to be strong enough for my whole team because my
Yeah,
team are not, they're getting there as, like professional, doing really good now. But they'll also tell me too, because of the prayers that I do of them, the before and the after. A lot of times we don't film it, and we'll
yeah,
do the prayers and stuff. They feel like if I didn't do that and I weren't so protective over them, my team, they would be afraid to do it. But
right.
they say
Yeah,
because they feel so comfortable with me on how I do the prayers and how I treat the spirits, that they know that they don't have anything to worry about because they're not going to be teasing them. They're not going to be, egging them on and
yeah,
doing that kind of stuff. They strictly just kind of follow, what I'm telling them to
yeah.
do.
Hmm.
So I also feel like I don't go in being scared whatsoever because I have to keep them in my bubble also,
Yes. Yeah, you've
so
got
Well,
to
that
yeah,
be the
no
leader.
fear
Yeah,
gets, yeah, so no
you
fear gets
can't
out of that bubble.
you can't
yeah.
go out with a team and stand there being scared out of your nut because you're not helping the team. You know what I
You've
mean?
got to even just wing it
You've
and
got to
kid
be
on
with
you're
it
not scared.
because if there is a situation that something happens, you've got to be able to take control of that and put that right. You know what I mean? And it's the same with the
Hmm.
spirits
Yeah,
because you know, no matter how much you tell them, don't come near me, don't touch me, don't do that. Some of them will still try and do that.
oh
That it's
yeah,
just them
Yeah.
trying to go, please help me. They're just trying to reach
yeah.
out to you.
Hmm.
A lot of them in there are not negative. There's only a few,
Well,
Hmm.
some
and they're
of
not
them
really. They're not
probably have
interested
never.
in you. They're more worried about. They're more
Some of them
worried
have
about what you're
probably
doing with
never
your
had
spirit.
anybody reach out. You know,
Yeah,
I just it amazes me that place. It really does because you can tell that there's so many levels to what line you could go down the line of who first was on this land. You could go down the line of
yeah,
how many people have been murdered in this tunnel. You could go down there. You could. There's so many different layers to it. Even asking what the elemental spirits are that's there. That it's just so many layers to the place. And then you've got both sides
is
of the
their
tunnel.
sacred spaces.
Yeah, the both sides of the tunnel seem a bit different as well.
Because
Have you noticed a difference?
even the spirit that comes through on the device and says, I affect the animals, and then you start hearing in the background all the howling and the barking and everything going
Yeah.
on. And it's like, okay, so what is a coincidence of saying that, in other words, she controls what's being done with the animals or being said
Yeah.
as in them
Yeah.
barking and stuff like that,
So,
and like the on the first one, Annette on the still camera, she caught a figure of a lady on the camera, but then when we reviewed it back, it wasn't there at all. It wasn't there.
Weird.
do you
So,
Yeah, I've
think
had that happen so many times.
that
mhm.
maybe there is native spirits there?
Oh yeah, because when we did,
Looks black like this living room.
well, yeah, not only natives, but that area, all through that area, it pertains to a lot of like wars and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, because when we went
What's
to
that?
the witch's grave, when we did that investigation, that's not like overly too far from there. And that came out that there had been a war in that area, and that's not far from there. But there's places all through there where there were wars and stuff. So I'm sure that went,
Well,
there
You
yeah,
could
too.
have
when it was
followed the
land and stuff.
trains, followed the train tracks even, because the train tracks are going to be like an open line of energy for them, especially if a train has just went past or something. They'll
Hmm.
probably be able to use that static energy. So even if the next time that you go, try and time it that there's a train just went past or something, and it'll have energized the spirits.
Yeah,
And
when the
Have you noticed a lot of energies come and go as well? Like they zip in and they zip out. I do
mhm,
think that I think there's some gateway or portal there. You see
yeah.
these
mhm,
energies zip in and then they zip out. It's like they come in
Well,
one door and they're out another door, because
right.
anyone that knows about hauntings or anything like that, you've always
Yeah,
got a door
it's
to come in and you've got a door to come out. And this is what you see
mhm.
them doing. You see them zip in and then you see them zip out in another doorway. You know what I mean? It's like they come in and out. It's like they use it to travel
Yeah,
through as well.
even Drew was saying that a while back that she felt that there was like that there was a portal, around there also. That's what she kind of felt.
Oh
But
yeah,
like when the
definitely.
when the train goes over, we try to not even be inside the tunnel when the train goes over,
Yeah,
because it is so loud. It's just numbing, and you just feel
yeah.
like if the whole thing was just shaking, even though it's not shaking, it's sturdy, it's built sturdy,
Bit,
but you
bit
feel
scary.
all of that when that train is going over. So we try to move out of it when it's going
Yeah,
over. And little did we know, on this last one, Lee was talking to those other people that was there first, and they weren't even doing an investigation inside. We were waiting because at the very last minute when we got there, they started venturing in, and I told the team, let's wait and see what they're doing. We don't want to go in with somebody else in there, because if you hear
yeah,
something, you don't know if it's them talking or what. But they were
yeah,
telling Lee that where they were talking about the coyotes up on top where the train goes through, they said there's another tunnel up there that is also supposed to be haunted, but it's like goes straight up. Lee said, dude, I'm 66 years old, I'm not climbing up there, and we're like, well, if all of this is going on here, I wonder what all is going on, up there.
yeah.
But we don't
There's
want to
Yeah.
get
definitely
caught up there
portals.
with a train coming through or anything, because the
Yeah.
whole side of it's just straight down. Me and Lee's the oldest ones there. We'll fall and break our necks, and we're like, no,
Even just
we're not
time it to
climbing
after
up
the
there with
train's
all that
been.
equipment. Yeah.
There's there was definitely a lot. There was definitely a lot of energy there, and like,
Oh,
so I
for
would agree
sure.
with Sister Drew with the portal, because I did notice a few times there was a few energies. It's like they zip in, you see them come through some sort of door thing, and then they zip out on another one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
definitely something where they cross through in there as well.
It amazes me as well, like, that there's actually fish in there, isn't there, in a
Yeah,
puddle?
I noticed that in the puddles. I was like, hang
How's
on a
that
minute, is that fish
possible?
in the water? Like, what the hell? in a puddle.
Say
Yeah,
that again.
it's
Say it
crazy.
Fish
again.
in your puddle.
The fish and the
Oh,
puddle and the tunnel as well. There's actual
yeah.
fish.
I wonder what they were going on about when they said, "Look, no, look, there's fish in the water." And I was like, "Well, there ain't going to be fish in the tunnel because it's a
It's
tunnel." And
nuts.
there was in the puddle. They were swimming in the puddle thing. I was like, "Oh my god! Like what?"
Yeah, because see, sometimes when it rains real hard, that thing floods,
Yeah,
and I guess
Right,
they get
right.
yeah, but
they
how do
get
they not
caught.
die? They must
When you
like
get out.
lose air being in there.
But you
Welcome
think
in,
they don't be
Andre.
dead with the vehicles going through all the time,
Yeah, you got run
Well, yeah, and
over.
I'm sure birds and
yeah.
stuff go in there
Oh,
and eat
and
them as
another
well.
thing is Lee said that that tunnel, like you'll hear a car coming, you can clearly hear the car, and then you got to get out real quick because there's not really enough room, and with the headlights in your eyes,
Yeah.
you don't know if they're going to hit you head on or not, so you get the hell out of there.
Oh, it's definitely an old
Well,
tunnel. Mhm.
Lee said one of the things is about that tunnel is, and it being haunted, is that if you were in the tunnel and you hear the car coming and you hurry up and get out and turn around, there's no car there. You hear it coming
Yeah,
as if it were still in this time, that there's not any there. And I think it was in the first one, Cassie said, hurry, hurry, get out, there's a car coming, there's a car coming. And we all rush out and we're like, well, where's the
And there's
car?
nothing
There
there.
was no car. She's like, I know I heard the car.
See, that's
You know.
definitely spirits wanting you out. That's definitely spirits manifesting a noise to make you go. So there are definitely protective spirits there of the area as well. And it's probably spirits trying to protect you guys. A lot of people go straight to it's bad spirits want you to go out.
yeah,
But then
Well,
again, it
I
could be
and
good
it's
I
not.
think
spirits
it
wanting you
might
to
be.
stay.
I think too it might be more residual, where
Yeah,
vehicles would come through, but in our time right now, we don't see them. We hear them,
yeah,
and we
true.
get the heck out of there, but they're actually not there. You
Yeah,
know.
that's
Yeah,
the most. That definitely does sound residual to me because it's something that happens all the time. So
Yes.
yeah,
it's obviously spirit people that maybe
Hmm.
drove through that tunnel on a regular basis, and that's what you're hearing.
yeah.
Because believe it or
Right.
not, you don't just see spirits of people; you can see spirits of cars, motorbikes. If there's a car or a motorbike involved in something, sometimes you can see that as well. It's
Hmm.
really
Yeah,
weird
that's
that they
crazy though,
bring that
isn't
out.
it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How
I
was
mean,
your
there's just
Thanksgiving,
so
Mrs.
many
Just
Dixon?
things
an
going
interesting
on.
It
place.
was good,
And
thank you,
Lee,
Andre. Hope yours
Lee
was all right.
also, yeah, Lee also said too. Sometimes, like if your car shuts
Yeah, I
off
hope
or
yours was
something,
good, Andre.
there's somebody, and if you look in your rearview mirror, you'll see somebody in the back seat.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
hitchhiker.
we don't, yeah, we're like,
Yeah,
we don't want you to drive through the
People lie
tunnel
down,
because
stop it. Move.
if that van is so huge that if it turns off, we're not going to be able to push it out. You
There's a
know,
lot of
so.
people always turn up as well when yous are there, so it shows that the area is well known because I've noticed a few times that people always turn up. So
yeah,
if the people turn up when yous are there, it shows that they turn up all the time. So it shows just how much an impact it has on
Yeah,
that area. Everybody knows about
yeah,
that tunnel, and that
yeah.
adds to it as well. That gives it energy as well.
Hmm.
You know?
well,
Yeah, and
yeah, the
people
more
that
that it's
drive by,
visited and the more it's engaged with, yeah, definitely.
yeah, and
Yeah.
people that drive by, and then they'll stop and like, oh, y'all doing an investigation? What have y'all heard? And they're like all, into it and interested in what other people are catching in there. Because if you go on YouTube and you type Sensabaugh Tunnel, there's been a
Yes,
lot of
there's a lot.
investigations done
Yeah.
inside the tunnel. I haven't to this day yet, unless there is and I missed them, but gotten as much evidence on the devices
But
and
not
what
this
you're
way.
hearing and all that we have gotten, while we're there.
I
So
think that's because other investigators go for the reason of just experiencing it. And the spirits know that. The spirits will know that you guys are there to actually want to hear their story and figure out what their fears are, what they want to do, why they're there, is there anything you can do. Spirits know all
Yeah.
that. You guys
They
know
know
that.
when you care. They know when
Yeah.
you care, and they know when you don't care. You know what I mean? A lot of these investigate, like Sister Drew's saying, a lot of these investigators that go there, they're not bothered about what's gone on with the spirits.
No.
They're more worried about how many
Mhm.
views they're going to get and how big
Yeah.
it's going to make them. And it
Right.
shouldn't be about that. Investigating. If you're going
Yeah.
to be an investigator and you're going to work with spirit to help them. That's what
Oh yeah.
investigators do. They
Got
help
to
the
be.
spirits. They don't leave them here and go and get a bit of evidence and walk off and leave them to it. No, if they're asking you for help them if you know how to do it, or go to someone
Mhm.
that does. We
Yeah.
all know
Yeah.
how to
Just
do it.
go back to just changing the subject for a quick moment. If you go back to one of Eli's first comments when we came into the room, we were talking, just started talking about the Sensabaugh Tunnel, so I didn't get you to highlight it. But Eli had actually mailed me during the week and said that one of his friends had died and came to visit him. So, would I find his comment?
Yeah, I'm
He was telling
backtracking too to see.
me about it. So, even Eli now is at a place where his experiences is letting him communicate now with spirits. Spirits are coming to him. So it shows that that communication always happens for a reason. Everything it happens for a reason. And I believe that Eli had that experience because he has got a purpose now to help people. Drew, what do you think about what about one of my friends that passed and I seen him on the other side? See, I mean that is why we are on this journey, guys. And even if
Yeah,
it's only for that one reason that Eli went through that crazy experience, that's what his purpose was. So even if our purpose is for to help mystical figure out how many spirits we can help in that tunnel, because there's clearly kids spirits there that need help. There's clearly adult spirits there that's probably don't even know that they've passed because it's been a traumatic experience. So I
Mhm.
feel as if all of this is definitely for a reason. And I think if Mystical can manage to go live there at some point, even if it's not then just now, because it really is cold, at some point next year, I think that a lot of us putting our abilities together can help a lot of spirits, especially in that tunnel.
But too, I think we get a lot of evidence there also too is because water is a conduit. The
Yeah,
spirits use the water to be able to pull more energy, and that whole bottom is covered in water. And I think that also helps us, you know, to pull information, from the
yeah.
spirits. So I think that, helps a
away
lot too.
from.
If I end up
Oh yeah,
disappearing from here for a second, I have the fireplace going, at least keeping an eye on it. So when I need to put
She's
more
cold,
logs
guys.
in, he'll come let me know because I don't let him put it in because I don't trust Lee around the fire because he will have a big bonfire in the front in the room and burn the house
Play the
down. So I
marshmallows.
told him, I said if it needs a log, come get me. I'll go put it on.
Guys, she's because she likes her room cold because of all her oils and things. It's extra cold today, so we won't keep her more than
Yeah.
the hour. Has any's got any comments? Is
Huh?
any of you guys watched
Oh,
the videos?
he's saying needs a live. So y'all keep talking to the people. I'll be right back.
All right, okay. Is any of you guys watched Mysticals? I mean, I know a lot of you in the chat are already open. So if any of you picked up anything, especially watching the Sensabaugh Tunnel, that last one, the last one was crazy. Sparkle, shut up.
it's most definitely a very active place,
See there what
and they
Eli had
definitely they
said. I don't
definitely
think
do
Eli
need
would
help.
mind sharing this, guys. Eli had said, I found out something yesterday. One of my friends I talked to that I haven't seen in 9 years so said one of my friends had died of cancer and was really sick too, and that was 2 months before I went on the ventilator. And he's seen him when he was on the ventilator. He says he can remember seeing him. So that just shows you guys that all of us has a purpose, you know. I only watched a couple of the shorts on the tunnel. Definitely go back if you want to, Iron, and watch it, because there is so many things catch your eye. And for it to catch my eye and me not being able to see spirits and things, you just know that the place is crazy active.
Oh, it is.
Yep. Put up at Sparkle in the living room, or she's just going to keep moaning at me. Go through there. Go and lie down.
But yeah, you know, like definitely watch our videos. Definitely watch them, guys, to get what we're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to sit here and try and explain to you about it, but to watch it is even better, because then you'll understand. You'll hear the videos and you'll see what's going on. You know what I mean? So, and if you've got abilities, you're more than likely gonna see something. You know what I mean?
Especially if she could manage to go live. Do you imagine if she could manage to go live there? I don't think Phoenix is in tonight, but imagine she can manage to go live there in between Phoenix and Iron and yourself. Everybody hearing and seeing things raw in the moment. I think that we would hear so much.
I like the pre-recorded videos and stuff, yeah, but I do prefer the live, because I see it there and then as it's happening, so it's easier to say, like, oh, over to your left, Mystical, all right. Well, obviously, when you're just watching the pre-record, you have to just write underneath.
Yeah,
I'm one of these that as soon as I see, I like to say, sort of thing. So for me, lives are better.
Brings a lot. Definitely. Yeah. I think that the energy of the live stream will bring a lot to the spirits. Plus, the spirits will get curious to what's going on and who you're talking to, especially the kids. So it'll probably draw them in as well. Sparkles.
Good night, Andre. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Andre. It's always a blessing.
Andre, thanks for coming in and giving us a like.
It would be. It'd be really good to have a live, because I think, like, we pick up a lot from watching the videos and that, but when it's live, it's so much easier, because you can see it as it's happening, and you can go, Mystical, to your left, there's somebody over there, or there's somebody over here. Right. Like, because that's the only thing that frustrates me, because I'm shouting at the screen going, Mystical to you, and she's not even live. You know what I mean? I'm so used to just like saying it, or
even on a premiere, you tend to do it.
When
Drew don't type and realise I can't type because it's the video. It's just like
when Drew suggested doing a live in there, I said we definitely need to do it, because I'm gonna have my team just doing everything normal anyway. And then I'll be doing the live, and then that way, if it shuts off, at least we have the rest of the video going to put it on. So I think that's an excellent idea. So instead of just doing the live and then it going out and that's the end of that, there's still going to be video in everything normal, and so that'll be, that's a super duper good idea. So.
And I think a lot more, I think, like, we think that we're picking up a lot now. I think you'd pick up a lot more if you're live. There'll be a lot more that'll get seen compared to when we're watching your video, sort of thing, you know what I mean? So.
And even because if I can't hear the disembodied voices, the people watching can hear it and tell me
that as well. We could go, Mystical just heard this or heard that, and you'll be like, oh, okay, and, because we do that. We do hear things and we do see. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, if they're saying something that I need to address, then I can hear it right then, right then and there. Yeah, that would be great. So, thanks for coming in, Andre. I don't remember if I said it when I came right back or not, but thank you. So, thanks for coming in. And thank you, everybody, for coming in. Okay. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or anything about the Sensabaugh Tunnel? So now, if I knew how on that very first one, because it's very long.
We've told them all to go and watch.
What?
We've told them all to go and watch, the three of them, to give us their opinion, what they think, the ones that's not watched it all the way through.
Oh, shoot.
Yes, Liam fell.
Is he all right?
He's sitting here.
Is he all right?
Yeah, he's a bit dizzy feeling, aren't you? Get your tammy and things off and just sit for a minute. I think that's maybe what Sparkle was trying to tell me.
Oh,
it's because it's sliding out my front. Terrible. I need to put some salt down.
Oh, so he slipped
Okay.
and fell. He didn't like pass out and then fall.
No, he slipped on the ice and he's got a big lump in his head where he's fell.
Okay, well tell him don't go to
Ouch.
sleep. He can't go to sleep for several hours. Hi, don't go to sleep.
You've not to go to sleep for a little while.
No.
What boy?
Got
You're
to stay
telling him
awake.
to have him in bubble wrap.
And the
He's
reason you
getting
don't
wrapped
want
in
them to
bubble
go
wrap.
to sleep, because if they go to sleep, then clots can happen. So you want them up and
Yeah,
not go
keep
to
up.
sleep. Yeah.
Lying down. Well, what a boy. Honestly, you can't take him nowhere. You can't even leave him himself.
But yeah,
Yeah,
go
so that's
over.
what I just advised everybody to go watch the ones that hadn't watched to go watch, because you can see things through the corner of your eye, and the crazy activity that the SLS and things gets. You don't get that anywhere else. I've never seen such an active video in a while than the Sensabaugh
No.
Tunnel ones.
Yeah.
It has been a really good video. And
And
you
anybody
sit in.
watching, I'm sorry, Sherry.
Go on,
Go ahead.
sis.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if anybody watches the first one, don't get put off by all the kidding around and stuff like that. I didn't know how to edit back then, so everything just had to come out the best that it came out, even though my team was kidding around. So they were new at it, and but it's gotten a whole lot better. I wish now that I could go back and edit that one, but I don't have it on my computer anymore to to do a highlight of it, so people can just watch the highlight of it. I don't know how, because I don't have it on the computer,
You can smell blood.
anymore. So at that time, all my computer was saying no, sir, no, didn't have enough whatever it is you have to have in it, and so I had to like delete everything afterwards once I like
See, that's the
uploaded it
thing.
and
People
stuff.
do carry on. When we first started going out ghost hunting as well, we didn't take it as serious. So it's understandable.
Everyone
You do
does
get
it.
it.
Even
I
my
think it's
team.
the energy as well.
Okay.
The energy of you all being together kind of makes you a little bit hyper, and then you do
You
settle
get
down.
excited, don't you? You get excited. We've all done it. We've all took teams out and they've got excited and made a couple of silly noises or done something silly. It's just
But
it's
it's worth it.
excitement, isn't it? And
Yes.
intrigued. But
Yeah.
like
Well,
we said,
they could be sensitive when they were picking up on that kid energy, because the two of them were a bit giddy. But so
yeah,
they could be
that's what I'm
sensitive
saying.
and
They could
pick
have
it
been.
up.
They
Yeah.
most definitely could have been. But you do have to watch the videos to know what we're saying. We can sit here all night and tell you how amazing it is and go blah blah blah, but it's not the
It's
same
great.
as watching it. You know what I mean? And
It's just
the
one
only
of
thing
those
I've got to say to
places.
you, Sister Mystical, is actually try and reach out to them now and maybe ask them like if they'll talk to you about what happened to them and if they're needing like the help and things. Because I do think a lot of them are trying to reach out because they're trying to speak.
Yeah, get that
They're trying,
Yeah.
you know.
Because we get so many coming through,
Yeah.
And right now, like before, they would say things, but I couldn't really get them to open up. But like y'all say, the more I go back, the more and more comes, comes
Yeah, and the
through.
fun
Not
that
only
you
that
see
though, but you give
help
off the
me,
light for your crossings as well. You cross spirit, so you're going to have that light of you that you help spirits go to the light. They're going to be seeing that as well.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
they're
mean?
seeing guides. I definitely think that they've chose you to a lot of them to
Yeah.
get their story out for sure. Especially the kids. There's a lot of kids there that you feel's in those woods. You just feel the little eyes. You just know they're there. And especially once we heard that there was a bus tragedy, that just
Yeah.
makes so much sense.
Yeah, and
It
when
does.
we asked him, when he told us that, we were like, did it just like crash inside, or did like some kids die in there? And he said, yeah. He said, yeah. So, and we didn't even
See,
know
that could
about
be
that, and
only
we
the
were like, no
portal.
wonder we get so many names coming through.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder. And see, way back then, people didn't know to go in and cleanse the place. They didn't know. Like, no, nowadays, if something like that happened, people like us would probably go there and make sure that none of the kids were stuck. But way back then, people didn't know how to do things like that. So the spirits just kind of spread and they just go and then they're lost,
Yeah.
Breaks your heart when you think about it, but that's what we're here for.
That's what I tried to explain to Lee, like during the crossovers. He's like, how can there be that many in one place? And I'm like, because it's like a beacon that's being let out. And they
Yeah.
come from all over, not
Yeah.
just from right there in one specific place that you're
You
doing a
feel the
crossover.
vibration.
Yeah, they come in and word, gets out and stuff like that. But yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely want to do a live in there. We definitely want to do that.
What you've got to remember is their knowledge and their communication and connection is completely different to what we can do.
Yeah.
So they don't need to be right next to another spirit to be able to hear what a spirit's saying or hear or what's going on. You know what I mean? They know
Hmm.
and they can hear it. So they're a lot different to us. Even though we're the same person when we die, certain things in us change as spirit. Our vision, our
Like a
hearing, our
like
sight,
a
everything else becomes so much more prominent in the spirit realm. It has
Hmm.
to be because of our body and our physical body is no more. We're now a spirit.
yeah.
So
Right.
those areas that for some of us are open are so much more in the spirit realm.
And remember what Eli told us, guys, when
Yeah,
you are a spirit, you know everything about everybody.
yeah, you do,
So
you do.
those
Yeah,
spirits already know each other and they know
you
the
get
bad
certain
things they've
things
done.
that come to you
No?
in your spirit form. You get certain things that just come to you naturally, like the
Yeah.
talking and stuff like that. They can
Hmm.
hear spirits all the way around. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Hmm. See, and
It's just a it's an amazing
I
place.
originally was going to do an investigation in there for the one person that we're not saying her name that starts with an S.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it and I was like, I didn't because I didn't want to be attached to that part of YouTube that's like,
Yeah, I
oh,
know.
she's just doing it to make herself big or
I know.
something like
Yeah.
that. So I haven't done, I haven't and I
Yeah.
probably won't, even though I
I
thought
don't
about
believe
doing
that.
it.
Yeah, I know. It would be.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
I insist. Nobody knows everything. The whole point of this thing is, yes, we're educated. You know, we're mature. We know what we're doing and stuff. But we're forever learning in this field.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows everything. You know
A
what I mean?
spirit
Nobody
is
does.
different. So
It's
they're always
impossible.
learning. Yeah.
Mhm.
Always learning. That's the whole point of this path.
Yeah, there's not. I
Mhm.
mean, everybody's different, so it shows you that every spirit is different. Every place is
Oh yeah.
different, so it's
Mhm.
everybody's always learning. You maybe
Yeah.
have
Just
similar experiences a lot, but it's always different.
just like us three are different, every spirit, like you said, is going to be different. Just like
Yeah,
somebody in the chat said, when you die, you take a lot of like how you are with you. That's how
yeah,
you are in spirit form, which we've had that discussion before,
yeah,
and we all
yeah,
agree with that. Um,
Yes, we do. Yeah.
yeah,
but
for
the
sure.
like the spirit that big tall one that was like kicking me, I was saying during that, I was saying that I kept feeling something touch me. I kept feeling something touching,
Yeah,
like my leg.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
yeah,
And then when it came out where it was kicking, what people don't understand is what I'm feeling a touch and it's kicking. They don't physically have to reach and touch you. It's their energy that they're protruding out
yeah, yeah.
yes, some of them do touch you, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's just their energy. Like the
They're
one at
zapping
the
you, zap,
Civil
zap.
War, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Oh
at the
yeah, they
Civil
probably are
War
confused. I
grave
insist. A lot of the spirits
where
there are probably confused. They've had
Oh, yeah,
weird deaths, haven't they? Some of them have gone there and
and
got
they've probably
killed,
seen
and
a lot.
people's bodies have been dumped there, and people have possibly hung themselves. Like there's going to be a lot of confused spirits there, and it's been seen in
Yeah,
the videos most definitely. But helping them and
mm,
talking to them will help them to understand a bit more, won't it? And maybe
yeah,
mm-hmm,
that
for
help them to
sure.
go over.
Yeah.
right, yeah,
I
yeah,
think it's sad that some of these ghost hunters go to these places and then they know that there's troubled spirits there and then they walk away to their next location. That troubles me. I wouldn't could
That gets my
sleep at
goat
night.
up.
Yeah,
That
I
gets my
couldn't
goat up.
sleep.
I
I go
don't really
behind.
like swearing very much,
Yeah,
but I
that's
would
bad.
swear at them. I'd be like,
Yeah,
like, don't do it. Like,
mm-hmm,
I understand people want to go out and have adventure and they want to get to know things and they want to see things
yeah,
happen and stuff like that. But if you're not going to be serious about it, then don't be serious about it, but don't be disrespectful to the spirits. But if you're somebody that's going to go into it like we have, then remember that when you're doing investigations and you're going into the paranormal, you're not going in there just to get your views and get your subs. You're going in there because you care, because you've got soul for it, and because you want to help the other side. That's what
Mhm.
investigators should be doing, helping.
Yeah.
Right.
How
Right.
can I don't understand how people can sit there and listen to these stories or these things that these poor people
Yeah.
say to you and just walk away and not feel nothing for it. Like when you hear the
No.
kids coming over the meter, how can you walk
Even
away
give
from that and
people like
ignore
us
that?
the heads up.
How?
Yeah.
How can you leave
Mhm.
them? Would you
And a
leave your
lot of the, if
would
you
you do
lot,
that?
I
Would you
know
leave
if you notice a lot as well, a lot of the haunted locations don't want
Yeah,
people like us going in that cross spirits over because they don't want a lot of the spirits to go. Now, I would say the majority of them would let you cross the spirits over if you were live. Like, okay, just cross them. But they don't want you to cross the spirits. They want these spirits to stay there because it brings them money. You
they
know?
don't like it. They don't like it. And I've actually had somebody that
Yeah.
actually had that happen. They went to a place and they're a bit like us. They agree in helping spirits and whatever. And they said,
Mhm.
would you mind if we done any of the crossings over and stuff for them? And no, you're not allowed to do that. That we're paid
Mhm.
for what we do and whatever. And
Mhm.
I was like, do you know what I'd have done? They know that you're gifted. They can hear what you're saying. You don't have to speak out loud. Just speak in your mind. Follow me out the room, and I'll do it outside,
Mhm.
away from the building. I can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
like anybody. I just don't see how people can stand there and listen to children,
I
adults, and
know.
that pouring their hearts out, asking for help, and how you can just walk away.
Yeah.
Would you do
I
that to
know.
your own family and your own children? No, you
Even
wouldn't.
give the heads up
You
to
wouldn't.
people you
Yeah,
know that's
yeah,
spiritual. Tell them, look, there's
yeah.
definitely spirits struggling there. Give somebody the heads up so that the spirit has got a choice to move on or not.
Mhm.
You know?
We're
That's
not
like I
saying
said.
it's wrong that you don't if you don't know how to do it. It's not wrong. Not everybody knows
What's
how
not
to
wrong at
cross,
all?
but
Yeah.
there are people on here that do
Mhm.
genuinely care about spirit and will help. There's Sister
Yeah.
Mystical, Drew, me. There's Sister
Christina, the
Christina.
Phoenix,
There's Phonics.
everybody plays
There's
Mhm.
so
sister.
many
Mm-hmm.
sisters and people on this platform that you could come to, and we would happily help you guys because that's what you
Yeah,
should
for
be
sure.
trying to
Mhm.
do.
Like
Yep.
when we
You
were
know.
doing the cemetery, the Ash Cemetery, and I had said a couple of times while we were doing the investigation that I was going to do a crossover at the end, so that
Yeah.
way, and then toward the end, I was like, meet me at this tree, we'll do a crossover. Whoever wants to cross over, that way they know nothing is
Yeah.
being pushed on them.
Yeah.
If they
You've got
want
the
to cross
choice.
over, meet me there and I'll do the crossover, and it's strictly up to them if they want to cross over or not. Was that
Yeah,
choice.
give them the
But I
choice.
felt
And
real
also let
strong
them know
about,
that they can come back at another day and
yeah.
do it then.
But
Yeah.
I was determined to do it there because there were so many
Oh,
children.
Oh, sis.
So many children. So that's
Iron.
the
We
reason
all
I wanted
ignore
to do that.
spirits.
it's heartbreaking.
We all ignore spirits at times when we're really busy. There is nothing wrong with going, look, guys, give me
Oh,
5 minutes. What
yeah.
we're on about is when you're going out and
Yeah.
you're hearing this obvious stuff going on, and these poor spirits are asking you for help, and
Yeah.
you just walk.
Hmm.
When you're at home and they come up to you and they're in your back garden, sometimes you have to ignore them because you're too busy doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? But they can always come
Yeah.
back. It's when you
Yeah.
can constantly ignore them every time you go there. How can you do that? Constantly hear them pouring out. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
then not do
I
nothing
ignore
about
all
it.
the ones that I see next door. I want nothing to do
Yeah.
with them.
Oh no, yeah, no, definitely not them. No, 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 no,
That's
no,
a
no, no.
whole different ball game.
That ain't gonna be no crossing over. That's gonna be Sister Mystical going over the tree by the time they're finished with her. You know what I mean? So no, leave them well alone next door. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I
Yeah,
don't
those
know
I
what
ignore.
happened there. My computer decided just to go blind.
Oh, Christy's got to leave. She says I got to get
Hi,
going.
Christy.
Bye, Christy. Thanks for coming
I
in.
gotta go to work.
Oh,
Oh, you
Oh,
Phoenix
hello,
is
Phoenix.
in.
Listen,
Mister,
just missed
enjoy
you
your
too.
work. I know everybody's got to do that. Phoenix! Oh, we're just
Hey, sis.
going before our mystical freezes. She
Yeah,
got her
we're
earrings
fixing
in.
to
I'm so
shut it
happy.
down. Oh, and Louie's in. Hey, brother
Hello, new
Louie.
brother.
So, does anybody have any questions about the Sensabaugh Tunnel before we go? Yeah,
Hi,
I have two
brother. These
jackets
are all
on
coming in now.
and my toboggan
Yeah,
on.
rewind back. Rewind back to the video, guys, and watch the video from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And what I'm going to
watch.
do too on here, what I'm going to do too is when this gets uploaded, I'm going to go back and on the description, I'm going to put the first. I'll put well, actually, it's 4 videos, even though it's 3, but one of them is a highlight. So I'll go back and I'll tag those
Right.
links so whoever wants to look at
Yeah.
them, then they can see them. That'll be in the description. And matter of fact, let me
That
put
would
this
be
on
my
here too.
advice
So
to you all.
somebody's
Hey, new
watching
brother.
it, they'll see it, and then I'll
I
stick
think there
it
was
up
like 3. There was
there.
3 normal videos. There was a 29-minute one. There was a 40. There's a 29-minute one. Then I think the
Yeah.
14-minute one was like you're going through thing, like showing things. And then you had one that was 1 minute 20 something, and 1 minute
You
6.
you mean an
Well, not 1
hour?
minute 6. 1
An
hour
hour?
26
Yeah.
minutes,
There's
and 1
actually
hour
Yeah.
6
yeah.
minutes.
There
So
there
there's
was
about
That's the
4.
last one.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to put on here so I can put it up here. I'm going to put check out the links.
Yeah, definitely go and watch them, guys, and
The
you'll
other
realise
If you
why we're so
parts
interested in the place.
if you do
and
Even
forget,
research it on Google, look it
the
up.
yeah,
You'll
if you
see
do
all the
forget to
different
put
things
that
that's
down as
happening
well,
there.
if you do forget to go and look underneath, if you go on System Mystical's channel and you're looking for them, if you just click on the search thing and put tunnel, it comes up with all of the videos to do with the tunnel. You know, that's how
Really,
I
I
done
didn't
it.
even know
I
that.
clicked on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't know
just
that.
click on the little search, the little search magnifying glass, just put tunnel and it comes up with your Sensabaugh Tunnel ones. And I
Yeah,
think there's
because I
like
do it
4 of
with
them.
my grey friars
Yeah.
ones. Because I hate
I
having
do
to
it
keep
on
spelling it.
Sister Drew's as well. It's just an easier way than you having to go through all of the videos to find them. You know what I mean? If you know like certain things like the tunnel. So like when I go to
Yeah,
Sister Mystic,
Phoenix.
when I'm on Sister Drew's, if I want to watch the stuff to do with her den, I'll put the bit to do with her den and
And
that.
all
And it
this
brings it all
time,
up.
I've been going through every single video.
I used to until I worked out you don't have to go through all of the videos from taking hours. And then I'd done this search thing to
Yeah.
see it, and I thought, what's that? Put that in, and it worked. And I thought, easier way to search for the stuff.
Yeah, I did not know that. So
Yeah.
let me.
It's on your channel, sis. When you click onto it, you'll see like a little
Sparkle, what is
magnifying
your
glass. Take that
problem
and just
tonight?
put tunnel, and it brings
Because I
all of
feel
the
like
list up.
tonight, I think Sparkle's feeling it.
Oh,
She's more spiritual
Oh,
than
yeah.
me, I think. The
My
film in
boy's been
tonight,
up and
Sparkle.
down all day today. My boy's been up and down. He nearly knocked all of my herbs off the bed earlier because I was putting all my herbs into my jars, trying to get it ready and stuff. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'll be
Father
down
says,
soon,
me
sis.
too,
Don't you
mystical.
worry.
Well,
I'll
we're
be down
going to let
soon.
everybody go because Drew needs to attend to her son.
Oh, I better
So
go make sure he
he
doesn't
don't.
fall asleep. I'll go up
Yeah,
yeah,
and
no
check
so he
his
doesn't
sleeping.
fall
He needs to be
asleep.
awake.
Yeah, so Drew's got to attend to that. Sherry has to attend to all of her herbs she was working on.
Yes.
And I have to go attend to the fire and make sure I still have a front room over there. So
Yes, I think we better go.
Thank
Let's
you.
hope so. Leave the
you.
fire.
Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Thank you for hitting the like. And don't forget, when this comes out, I'm going to put all the others in the description, so check it out. Thank you all. Bye.
Good guys. Bye.
Let's be Merry
Blessings.
party.
I'll catch you all soon. Bye, guys.